And welcome to That's Not Okay, the podcast where we spot the red flags and reclaim our love lives. I'm Alyssa, and I am talking to you today about how to process toxic love, reclaim yourself, and rise from the rubble. So, I am personally in my own journey of healing and recovery after something really difficult and challenging, a really hard chapter. But the beautiful thing is that I know it's just a chapter. This isn't the end of my story. And if you're in a situation where you're closing a difficult chapter, just know it's not the end of your story either. It can be actually a jumping board or a launching off point for you to reach a higher version and a better version of yourself. So first things first, I want to talk about how to process having dealt with a toxic partner, especially if this was a marital partner. This is not to minimize dating violence and dating abuse. It's just that there are some real legal ties that happen when you marry somebody, and it can be another source of abuse. So the first step in processing this is do not minimize what happened. Whatever you do, don't swallow it. Don't try to run away from it. Give yourself the space you need to grieve. I have been in my own journey where meditation, and that just means I turn on like this kind of meditative music and I just sit and I let myself have the space to grieve and cry and think and just think the worst, all the things, the lies that I was told about myself. And the beautiful thing is that facing those things gave my brain the space it needed to realize, A, the things that I was hurting so badly from weren't so scary because they weren't true. And B, it gave me the resilience that I needed to like make new connections in my brain and realize, oh, those, like, I have actually lots of proof that my life is that I have a lot of worth, that my value is good. So give yourself the space you need to grieve and do not minimize it. Abuse is abuse, even if it's subtle, and even if they say it wasn't. The second is label the behavior clearly in your head. Do research, learn about the words gaslighting, emotional withholding, sexual coercion, shame tactics. Really make a study of this. Read books on it. Psychologists have written plenty of books on this, and there is real psychological damage done. If we as a society can accept that bullying of children online can lead to them being so depressed they're suicidal, then we should easily understand that even if we're adults, when we enter marital relationships, an even more personal and intimate relationship where there's put downs and emotional abuse, that's serious. It can cause serious psychological harm. So take it seriously, write it down, and own it. The third is let go of the fantasy version of your toxic partner. I did it too. Like I said, they were confused. They didn't understand what they were doing. Like he was struggling. I made every excuse in the book. I thought therapy could fix it. I thought, oh my gosh, this is neurodiversity. Like I tried everything. I'm like, I know this is wrong, but he can't possibly know what he's doing to me. But the truth is, they know. If they're watching you bawl your eyes out and beg for reconciliation and they are acting disgusted with you, that's not accidental, especially if it happens over and over and over again and you have explained how it impacts you, you've tried to find compromise positions. If you have done everything in your tactic and not a thing changes, they're choosing that behavior because they don't think you deserve better. They're wrong. Let me say that again. They are wrong. No human being deserves to be treated that way. But let me emphasize again, this isn't immaturity. This isn't a growth process. This is a morality issue. This is a values issue. Abuse isn't an accident. It happens because someone thinks that behavior is okay, and it's not. Number 4, just know that it wasn't your fault. You didn't attract abuse. You didn't deserve it. You gave love and were exploited for it. So don't blame yourself. I know this is one of the hardest things. I just recently received like this diagnosis from my therapist, and I was shocked, but I looked it up, and part of the diagnosis is like not, you minimize, you don't really believe you were a victim. And I really did in my last relationship, like wonder, he acts so been victimized by me when I cry. I mean, it's really a flipping around of the narrative. It's confusing, but no, you are not wrong for having emotional needs. Do not make yourself inhuman because someone treats you inhumanely. You deserve to be loved, and you don't deserve abuse. The last is, you don't need their side of the story to heal. Truth doesn't need validation from the person who violated it. Like, why do we do that? I do it too. I so wanted my last partner, to see the through line, the narrative, the story. Like, don't you see, based on his own stories, like of childhood trauma, don't you see you're doing that to me too? Don't you remember that it hurt you? Why would you do that to me? And no matter how many times I tried to connect the dots, it would stick for a moment and then fade away. And so just know they're not going to offer you that closure that you need, the healing that you need. Move on and find people who do have a healthy perspective on life. They're out there, I promise. Okay, point number 2. So here's how the abuse might continue even after it's over. So of course you have the really certain cases where there's stalking, where there's like, one of the most dangerous times is leaving a relationship because rejection, sensitivity, etc. Like, you can watch any documentary on abusive relationships, and you will see that abusers typically don't tolerate that. They think you're lower than them, and so it doesn't make sense why you would reject them. I mean, and then you've wounded their ego, and that's just even worse. I mean, now they feel worse than you, and it's just, if they've got to even the score, or they've got to get you back to prove their worth. I mean, rejection makes some people go crazy. They're like, they want the person even more. So that's not love, that's control. But then you have divorce. Divorce does not stop emotional control patterns. So expect manipulation through legal systems, housing, money, shared social circles, posturing in court. Just know that, don't be surprised, don't be scared. It's out of your hands. You can't control it. Once it goes to the court, you can't do a thing about what happens. All you can do is tell the truth and try to do it in the most professional and cordial way possible. And, if you can afford it, hire an attorney. But otherwise, there's tons of pro se resources. So figure it out. You will figure it out, and you will get out of this. But just know that the abuse isn't going to end. They're going to still try to, take you down. I mean, they're going to use the courts by proxy to abuse you. So just know that. They may weaponize your past love against you, like maybe emotionally. They're like, how could you do this to me? You said you loved me, blah, 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 blah. I mean, I myself, frankly, have moments like that with my former partner. And so it's not that far of a stretch, but when divorce is what's at issue, that's not the issue. It's more just bullying and mistreatment. Like, there's times that it is okay to say, why would you do that? Like, if someone punches you, why would you do that? Like, I have so many moments like that, but just leaving, everyone has the right to say no. That's not abusive. Get out of a relationship. Don't feel guilty about it if you need to. They may recruit allies, think about flying monkeys. That's kind of a phrase that's really popular in psychological circles. Like, they get your friends to kind of gang up on you, get you to feel guilty or confused. They might put together smear campaigns to make you look bad, or guilt trips from concerned family members. Just know that they're really manipulative, and they can do that. They have that power. They may continue their stonewalling and silence, which is abuse. So refusing to finalize agreements or dragging you back into contact is control in disguise. You don't have to play that game. Just trust the legal process. Even though we all know it's broken, there's imperfections, this is not the end of your life. It's not the end of the world. You will get through this too. And abuse after the relationship is about punishing your independence or your autonomy or you for stating the truth and holding them accountable. You left and they want you to pay. So why they won't let it go? Well, entitlement would be one of the reasons. They believe they own access to your money, your attention, your forgiveness, your body, or just the gratification that they got from controlling you, even if it was by being mean to you. Like, you're taking away a source of their reward. They liked controlling you. So, they're just going to continue to try to harvest from you what they were enjoying. Lack of accountability. So they might refuse to see themselves as abusers. They just rewrite the story in their own minds so that they're the victim. And that's just a really dysfunctional, maladaptive coping mechanism, but lots of people do it, so just be prepared for it. Delayed gratification. I mean, again, if they can't get love, which they don't know how to give, so they're never going to get it, if that makes sense. That's not blaming you. That's just saying they can't receive love. It does not compute, even if you have it to give. Like, they're going to settle for power. They might even mistake power for love. So conflict keeps them connected. I was just thinking that in my most recent relationship, like, this almost feels sad to me, the things that these people are doing, my partner and his parents. Like, it almost just feels like they miss me. Like, I know they hate me, but it almost feels like they want to stay attached. And that's, in a way, it's sad and flattering, but like, I'm ready to go on. But they won't let me go. So thank you. Narcissistic injury. Your boundaries are a threat to their fragile ego and self-image. Like, they rely on others to make them feel worthwhile, or they rely on appearances. Well, what's worse than divorce or getting dumped? Like, that just takes them down a peg. And even if they try to spin it, it still wounds their ego. So just be prepared. And they don't want you back. So don't think that. Like, they want control. This is not love. I repeat, not love. This is ego preservation. You're a tool. They might think they love you after a breakup. If they get all crazy about you, they might think they're infatuated. They're not. It's not about you. It's not love. It's about ego preservation. You are the person that took their pride, and they will never forget you for it. And their brains might say, well, it's love, and I'm just going to try to get her back. No, they're just trying to fix their wounded ego. So what's next for the victim? Like, this process, breakups in this type of situation can be super messy and super challenging, but your life's not over. So the first is disengage with clarity, not chaos. Use calm, clear, documented communication and let the courts be your witness. Like, just, let the other party sink low. Speak your truth and be assertive. Don't be shy, but the truth will show itself. And even if you don't get justice in the end, you will feel better about yourself for having stuck your ground and stuck up for the truth. Like, even if I lost everything I own at this point, I don't want to, but they can't take from me what happened. And that has been a super empowering realization for me. The second is set radical boundaries, block them, document it, everything, detach. Don't seek closure, seek safety. They are not safe for you. They are going to do everything they can to keep you in their power, even telling you what you want to hear. Block, document, detach. I am not kidding. Find safe people. Get on Bumble BFF. Like, literally, trauma requires connection. Trauma recovery requires connection. Talk it out. Scream. Just cry. Get on ChatGPT. I talk to ChatGPT all the time, but don't isolate yourself. Have fun, even if it's not natural for you. Like, I have started ballroom, like not ballroom, but like salsa dancing, and like I take lessons and the people are lovely. I've made wonderful friends. I just got a job as like a yoga instructor and I'm so happy about it. So just get out there, help others, do what you can to rebuild your life. Everything's not in control, but your life's not over and there's plenty of things you can control. Rebuild identity without them in the picture. Like, what do you want now? The world is your oyster. You don't have to be defined by this. This is literally a blip on the radar if you want it to be. It doesn't mean to minimize what happened. It just means use it to launch you into the stratosphere. Like, I am using my experiences for this podcast. I may help no one. I may help one person, but that is enough for me. I'm doing something with it, and that brings meaning to what I experienced. And therapy isn't just healing, it's armor. Find a good therapist. I know how hard that is, but I love my therapist right now. He speaks the truth and he's not flippant about it and he's not pandering to me. He just calls it what it is. So use therapy to help you get strong enough that if they try it again, it doesn't even touch you. My therapist, even before I was willing to acknowledge abuse, used the word. And I was shocked because I just hadn't been able to see that when I was in it. I just thought, I made every excuse in the book. I called it anything else. Confusion, neurodiversity, blah, blah, blah. And that just gives that's not fair to autistic people or people with neurodiverse qualities. This was not an autism issue. This was a character issue and just not having a high value of how you treat other human beings. But the truth is you can't treat other human beings well if you hate yourself, because it undermines the idea that in healthy people is the understanding that every human being is worthy of human dignity and respect. But if you don't believe you're worthy of respect and toxic people don't, then you're going to use any emotional connection like a tool, because you don't see people as inherently worthy of respect because you're a person. You know what I mean? I know I'm trying to be more clear in my articulating this idea, but I'm just saying it's a logical, modus ponens kind of statement. If even one person is not worthy, then it's conditional. But healthy people see respect as you have it by nature of being a human. You can lose respect by how you conduct yourself, but respect is not wielded like a weapon. So just know that therapy can help you make those connections. Finally, change for the better. And this gets you into post-traumatic growth. So the first is you are not broken. You may feel broken. Your heart may feel broken. It may be broken. You know what I'm saying? But Humpty Dumpty, I believe he can be put back together again. I know it because I've watched my broken heart heal through beautiful friends, eternal optimism, faith, my family, finding new joys and hobbies, laughter, dancing. I mean, even these creative outlets that a long time ago I wouldn't have had the confidence to engage in. You can be reborn. Post-traumatic growth means you evolve while they stay stuck. So I hope that's not true. I would love for my abusers to grow and improve, but I spent 2 years of the last 2 years of my life hoping for growth and improvement from people, and that's totally within their purview and control. My prayers couldn't have changed that. And God doesn't force people to get better, it has to be their choice. So just know it's not that your prayers failed. It's not that God failed. God gives everybody free will. God heard you, and it's on them, not God. you'll never tolerate crumbs again. I mean, you have tasted starvation. I have tasted starvation. I didn't know I was starving, literally and figuratively, but I was, and I will never put myself through that again. One thing is abundantly clear to me, and that is I deserve so much better. Not because I'm special, but because I'm human. I questioned my own humanity through this process. There was a night not too distantly past. I thought I should walk headlong into traffic. I am worthless. That thought crossed my mind. And it was just a thought, and it was gone before I even had time to process it. But when when someone is treating you that badly that you are like, I am hated and I am worthless, you're not in the right place. So, and you're starving. You know now how to feed yourself. You know who's not feeding you. Don't tolerate it. Don't get stuck in a trauma cycle. Don't go back. You're going to see red flags faster, that's for sure. You're going to learn, wisdom is hard earned, but it's going to protect you now. So just look forward to these things when you get back out there dating. You have your voice back, or maybe you have a voice you never knew you had. The most powerful thing about an abuser the most powerful thing an abuser steals is your self-belief. I know I questioned my perceptions all the time after my last relationship. There was just gaslighting all the time. Even things I heard and saw with my own eyes, my partner would say, no, that didn't happen. And so it makes you feel so small and confused and crazy. Well, take your voice back. You are not crazy. If you're going out killing people, you're probably crazy. But you know what I'm saying? If you are just trying to raise legitimate concerns in a relationship, you are not crazy. Get away from somebody that makes you question your own eyeballs. And you're not hardened by what happened. Don't let this make you bitter. This world is still beautiful. There's bad things about it, sure, but oh my gosh. There are so many beautiful, wonderful opportunities, bright, deep, not superficial. Don't give up hope. You're not hardened. You're holy. Be the light that you wish you'd had in those dark times. What you've survived has made you sacred, not bitter. This makes me emotional thinking about, I don't know if I'm going to help anybody through this process, but I hope I do. And I know that I can take a lot. I'm strong, and I'm so excited for my future. And this episode was really for the people who've been through the ringer. Don't give up hope, whatever you do. You have something still to give. So thank you for listening. I look forward to our next episode. Thank you for your patience with me. My inconsistency is not due to a lack of care, but life is crazy right now. And so until next time, I hope you have a great week. And just remember that if you're being mistreated, that's not okay. Thanks.